I'm Zoe Delahunty-Light, and I'm back with more Project Zomboid tips, with this video being for those of you who have sunk enough hours into Project Zomboid to know that this game does not hold back and doesn't ever really get easier. One small slip up can cost you your months-old car-having level 7 no electricity survivor, but with these tips you should last just that little bit longer. I've already made a beginner's tips video for players who are just starting out, so check that out if you want to make sure you don't miss a damn thing. But anyway, here are 19 Project Zomboid advanced tips for when you're starting to feel a little bit cocky, which is itself a mistake. Just a heads up, all these tips assume you're running on the default settings in survivor mode. Your first thought when trying to set up a safe base, or just hole up somewhere to wait out a shambling horde, is probably to barricade yourself in or build some walls. But be careful where you barricade. Zombies are programmed to attack player fortifications without anything drawing them near beforehand, meaning if they see a barricaded door, window or fence, regardless of whether a flesh bag like you is hiding inside or not, they'll attack it. Use this to your advantage by only barricading inner doors and setting yourself up on the second floor, which is the first floor if you're from the UK. This means that no barricades are visible on the outside, which means if you're lucky, you'll escape the zombies' attention. While on your salvaging runs, you'll probably come across a little Easter egg to real-life events if you find a house with an almighty stock of toilet roll. Far more than being just a little joke, all this toilet paper is actually useful for more than just, well, you know. One roll of toilet paper will burn in a stove for 300 minutes or 5 hours. So remember, in a pinch, you can use that loo roll as fuel if you run out of wood. Bedrooms are usually a place of rest, relaxation and solace, but in the zombie apocalypse, one thing lies waiting for you that could mean death: an alarm clock. Or a digital watch. These clocks have a chance to already have alarms set by their previous, probably undead owners by the time you pick them up. Not checking whether these alarms are set can result in them going off at inopportune moments and leading those slavering mouths to you. Who knows, one of them might be the previous owner of said watch or alarm clock. The first thing you should do when you pick up either of them is to check for and disable any alarms so you're not subject to a deadly wake-up call. Check drawers for alarm clocks while you're looting houses too, as if you need to sleep or are simply waiting for a horde to pass, those hidden alarm clocks can mean a very panicked and violent death. Now, I don't blame you if yelling isn't on your to-do list when it comes to navigating the streets of Knox County, but I promise you, that whispering will be more your thing. Press Q while crouching and you'll whisper, which has a smaller range and will attract the attention of zombies who are closest to you instead of a whole group of them. For those who pick the burglar class, this is especially handy as you can sneakily tempt Zeds away from a bigger group and whittle said group down by doing so, instead of having all of them lumbering after you in a very slow foot chase. One of our lovely commenters left this tip, and its name is the door flash tip. The way it works is that if you open and shut a door quickly, you'll be able to quickly glance inside and get to see if there are any Zeds waiting for you. Now, they shouldn't notice you, but if they do, you at least have some time to back up before they break through the door. I'd especially recommend using this when clearing buildings, just so you have an extra few precious seconds to prepare before combat ensues. Get a high enough carpentry skill and you can build yourself a fully functional sink that filters rainwater into clean, drinkable H2O. Get yourself a faucet with a pipe wrench, make sure you have metal pipes in your inventory, then establish a rain collection barrel on the roof of your chosen building that's, and this is important, 1 tile away from the sink on the floor below. You should be given a prompt to plumb the rain collection barrel to the sink below. Fridge freezers, the kind you find in houses, are tiny, and if you want to freeze fresh food with your own generator hooked up, you're gonna need something bigger. Head to the shops and you'll find that they have ice boxes, which are, obviously, bigger than the domestic ones. They have ice on the side in big letters, so they're really hard to miss. It's a faff to get them to your base, and they do take about 1 gallon of gas to power per day, but once you've settled in a base and you can store so much inside, trust me, it's really worth it. When you're ferrying dismantled bits of furniture to your base, make sure you carry the dismantled bits with both hands rather than putting it in your inventory. This will make it way less heavy and you won't waste space in your inventory, though you will want to make sure to avoid any Zeds, as with hands full of furniture, fighting them is gonna be a no-no. Get yourself a sledgehammer and smash any stairs that lead to the second floor, first floor for those in the UK, of your base. This means that if a zombie gets in, they can't come up to the second floor and you'll stay safe and sound. Safe and sound-ish. Make sure to destroy the top portion of the stairs first, as if you don't, Zeds can glitch to the top of the stairs as it is remaining intact. You can usually find sledgehammers in hardware stores, roadwork sites if you look out for traffic cones, or warehouses. Install sheet ropes on all of the upstairs windows. If you follow my previous tip to destroy the stairs, which you should, then you might find that the lower level of your base becomes swarmed with the undead. While you can hunker down if you want, sheet ropes provide an exit that zombies can't use. However, zombies can destroy sheet ropes, so it's best to use them before zombies get to whichever part of the house has the emergency fabric exit. Barricaded houses are not always good safe houses. They can be broken into. To remain extra safe, or as safe as you can get in Project Zomboid anyway, find a place with tall metal fences that zombies can't climb over, but you can. You want to make sure that they encircle as much of the property as possible, leaving just 1 or 2 entry points that you can reinforce and defend, forcing the zombies through a bottleneck. As always, watch your 6 though. Rosewood has a gated community that has those kinds of fences. If you're leading a conga line of zombies behind you, like I often do, you will want to shake them off unless you have a death wish. An easy way to do this is to run into a house, close the door behind you like a good house guest, then go out the back door of the house while being as silent as possible. The Zeds will search for you in the house first, and as long as they didn't see you go out the back, you have time to escape. Everyone knows that the burglar class lets you hotwire cars, which is a valuable and exceptionally life-saving skill. However, there is a simple way to gain that ability without starting as a burglar. Just get your mechanic skill to 2 and your electronic skill to 1 and you'll be able to hotwire anything. Exercising fatigue sets in hours after exercising, so it's a good idea to only exert yourself in such a way if you don't plan on leaving your base in the next 8-ish hours. Exercise before bed, then you can simply sleep through the soreness and the associated negative effects. Surviving in the long run is hard, obviously, but having level 7 or expert cooking makes sustaining yourself a lot easier in the later stages of the game. Having cooking at level 7 means you can use a small amount of rotten food as ingredients in your baking, and in the later game, as all the fresh food will be rotten, this is especially handy, especially if you haven't taken my earlier tip to heart and don't have an icebox. If you take the Herbalist perk, you can actually eat rotten food as long as you have lemongrass to go with it. Lemongrass lessens the chance of you getting sick from eating decayed food. Common mallow is the only herb that will directly reduce your cold if you have the sniffles, but like with lemongrass, you will need the Herbalist perk to be able to forage for it. Cabbages are the peak renewable food source in Project Zomboid. Once you have a farm going, grow cabbages, which you can then use to trap rabbits. Make sure to stagger when you plant different patches of cabbages so you always have fresh ones to eat when the old ones are rotting, which is especially handy if you don't have an icebox. I'm at the end of these tips now, so remember, Project Zomboid isn't really a game about a single character surviving. It's more about creating a world in which characters can survive. Set your future characters up for success-ish, by keeping useful books and items in your base. Set small and manageable goals for each day and each new character. Make a plan, stick to it, but also be prepared for things to go awry. Because with Zeds roaming about, more often than not, they probably will. Lastly, remember, taking risks gets you killed. Don't get cocky, and don't get confident. And that's 19 Project Zomboid advanced tips. Do you have any other advanced tips that are useful for those who have spent a long time in Project Zomboid? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, thanks very much, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Eurogamer as we have a new video out every single day. Now, I'm going to go and eat some cabbage because I have a sudden craving for it, so I'll see you next time.